Okay. Whoa. Hello, can you hear me? Oh, there's hey, hello, can you hear me?
Hello, John.
Yeah, how you doing? Can you hear me okay?
Yeah. John, can you hear me?
Yeah.
John?
Yeah. I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
I'm unable to get my video working for some reason.
Okay.
I'm just going to log out and come back.
Yeah, people are coming late today.
Are you able to see my video?
No, I can't even see your, I don't know if your camera's even hooked up. Yeah, your camera's hooked up.
For some reason, my John, that is.
Well, your video, your computer's not seeing your video?
Yeah.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay.
When do you want to start it?
Well, let's wait a few minutes, okay?
Sure, John.
People are coming late. You know, and actually, let me show you a number, which is, it throws people off because we're getting more viewers. I think a lot of people, okay, I'm going to show you the screen share, how some people are just watching it on the website. Okay, you see this number 314 here?
Yeah.
Okay, that's the number of people. I mean, there's less of that's how many pages they visit. So probably around between 100, 150 people watching it on the actual website. In other words, they come to the website, but there's no other way that we can tell they're there other than my log. You know what I mean?
Oh,
It doesn't go on YouTube. It doesn't go in any of the numbers. And people really won't come in the panel. They'll just kind of watch it on the website. Do you know what I mean? So
so
you are getting more people than you think.
I get you, understand.
Yeah, because some people just don't like to participate. They just like to watch it.
They don't want to participate, you mean?
Yeah, they just want to watch it, which they can do they come in through Zoom, but that's another step of kind of getting in.
Hmm.
So that's what I think is happening.
Tomorrow morning, I'm doing the Indonesian talk.
Yes. You're doing China, right?
Well, I'm doing the one in China, and tomorrow morning, 7 a.m., I'm doing Indonesia.
Okay.
The China one is in the evening, I guess.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. It's 5:30
Yeah.
your time.
Tomorrow
Oh,
morning,
yeah.
early
Well,
morning, I'm doing the Wines World Congress Indonesia.
oh, okay. Well, if you want to televise that, I don't know if they want to.
This is the YNS World Congress. So I don't know. But
No, if they put it on YouTube, see if you want to talk to the tech and see if he puts it on YouTube. I can easily televise it.
that'll be great. And one more thing, I went to the company who makes exoscopes, and they are fantastic, man. They are just fantastic.
So they're gonna.
So I think they are the future.
Good.
So I told them that what are the points to improve, and they were not investing on a full-fledged robot. So I've asked them to invest in a full-fledged robot, and they're ready for that. And I think very soon we'll be seeing the future of exoscopes coming from India.
Okay. What's a basic set? Exoscope in 3D, right? What's the minimum that would cost? Are they working on that? Kind of getting the
So
cost
the
down?
minimum 3D exoscope in HD is going to cost around $35,000.
Oh, that's very doable.
Yeah. So
Well,
but if you want 4K, then the cameras are extremely costly. And the
yeah.
problem is they have to import these cameras, and so then the cost goes up to $125,000 to $135,000.
Oh, okay. Well,
Otherwise, if it's just HD, and I saw the quality of HD, it was just brilliant, just brilliant.
really? Well,
Yeah,
certainly that's within the range of a lot of places.
yeah. So 35,000 is within the range of a lot of people.
Yeah, that's very, very sellable. We were just talking about that exoscope, and James Leo from Rutgers, he was giving a webcast on the art of surgery, neurosurgery. And he talked about, he says, well, I use the exoscope mostly for displaying for students, but for working, he uses a microscope. Well, I'm sure you're a different mindset using your hands. You have to learn to use your hands again, right? In a different setting.
See, you could use the thing is depends on what scope you're using. I mean, today I'm going to go through the basics of an exoscope, and then I'm going to teach them how to use the 3D on the normal computer, like I taught you about the VLC.
Okay.
And then I'm going to show them a short video. One thing I understood is people's attention span is very less, and then so if you tell them too many things at one time, they're going to forget everything.
Right.
So we're going to take it as a series, and today I'm going to tell them what is an exoscope, what is a microscope, and then after that I'm going to tell them how do you see 3D in a normal computer using VLC player, so that next time I put in a 3D video, they can immediately use this VLC and see that.
Okay,
they can download it from.
Okay, don't let it put you off. There's just a couple of people, because there are people watching. you know, there are people watching, so.
I'm ready, man. I'm ready.
Okay, might as well start. Okay, 10, hold on. Let me make sure I have it on, yep, it's on live stream. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good morning, this is Dr. John Bennett broadcasting for Neurosurgical TV. Today we have a webcast from Iype Cherian, a big proponent of the exoscope, endoscope, and he's going to talk about that and a lot of interesting stuff that I don't know anything about. So welcome, Iype.
It's an honor again to be talking with Neurosurgical TV. John, my very good friend. We've been working together for many years right now. And I should say, John has brought a revolution to neurosurgical education. And I am glad to be part of it, at least in the background. So we were instrumental in starting off this way of educating people. Now it's really caught on, and I mean, it's always great to come back again and share what we are doing right now. So I'll just share my screen and keep it like that. So are you seeing my screen?
Yes. Do you want to make it, is that full screen?
One second.
Yeah, well, is that full screen? I don't know. There you go. There you go.
So today I'm not going to talk about a lot of things, just the concepts. What is an exoscope versus what is a microscope? I'm not going to show you anything because there is so much material on the internet on what's a microscope, what's an exoscope, and things like that. So I'm going to tell you a set of things, just 3 points. Now, when micro neurosurgery started in the 1960s, what they did is, instead of seeing with your bare eyes and operating, they put a light, coaxial light. That means where you look, you have light. So I was already there with a lot of neurosurgeons because they were using headlights. The second thing they put was magnification. So you had magnification and coaxial light. How do you achieve it? You need to have a light source and you need to have an objective and an eyepiece. Few lenses, few prisms, and this would weigh a lot. You know, prisms and lenses are not light. We're talking about glass. So in front of you, you had a light source, you had a few prisms, you had some lenses. So, and this, you should be able to move either X, Y, you should be able to pivot it, and you should be able to, X, Y, Z and pivot. This movement should be possible. So what they did is, they made an eyepiece so that the surgeon could look through the eyepiece. They made an objective and they made a stand which can suspend this optical apparatus, and that is a microscope. So what is a microscope? A microscope is just a set of prisms and lenses with an eyepiece and an objective suspended in front of the surgeon so that the surgeon can move it and see coaxial light and magnification. That's exactly what's a microscope. Now, what's the limitation of a microscope? The microscope has evolved so much in the last 50 years or so, so much so that today the microscope floats. So you have electromagnetic brakes and you touch the brake. It is auto-balanced, the set of these prisms and everything is auto-balanced, so the microscope literally floats. people have introduced robotic functions to the microscope arm so that point lock, waypoints, everything is accessible now, which means point lock means you lock onto a point of focus and then you can move the microscope wherever you want and the point of focus will remain the same. The waypoint remembrance is when you press at one particular point, you save a waypoint and you take the microscope out and you press a button and the microscope will come back to the same point. So these are all robotic functions. But the point is the heart of the microscope has remained the same. That is an optical system. That is the lenses, the prisms, the eyepieces, and the objective has remained the same. This means the surgeon is still married to the eyepiece. He's got to look through the eyepiece. All the angles that he's going to look through, if you got to look up, it's impossible. Imagine looking up. It's impossible. Because the eyepiece is in front of you and your objective is below. So looking up becomes really difficult. That's why sitting position was as a painful thing. Now, with the exoscope, what we have is a much smaller head. It's just a digital camera. It's like so the CCD came into being. You have detectors, digital detectors. There you can have hybrid systems where there are optics and detectors, but then the camera head becomes very, very small. Plus, you're watching on either a screen or on a heads-up display. Heads-up display, I believe, would be the future, but you're watching on a screen, so you're not married to the eyepiece. The exoscope can rotate in whatever way you want. Now I'm going to show you all this later on. I just want you to understand today the difference between a microscope and an exoscope. An exoscope is a free moving thing. You can move it anywhere you want. You're not married to the eyepiece there. Everybody who sits can have the same 3D view either on the screen or on the HUD. And it's a robotic arm, so you have point lock, waypoint, saving, all those functions they're there, plus you're not following the eyepiece. Your assistant is not following the eyepiece. So ergonomics-wise, it is the future. Magnification-wise, it's the future because if you have an 8K camera, the amount of details you can magnify is something that you can think about 100 or even 200 zoom. So the stereo depth is amazing. Plus, it's a beginning of future because into the digital image, you can superimpose the navigation, superimpose any other images, segmentations and things. And so that you have a clear idea. And maybe someday you will have an exoscope which will look at the brain and tell you this is a cavernous sinus, this is the third nerve, this is the fourth nerve, this is the sixth nerve, this is the carotid. You shouldn't be going here. What you're doing maybe is too rash. The exoscope is going to tell you by just image recognition and AI. It's not too far. It's a digital image. A microscope will never be able to do that. So this is what I wanted to tell you with respect to what is an exoscope and how is it different from a microscope. Now, the second thing I'm going to show you today is I'm going to stop sharing and share my screen on how to see a 3D. How do you see a 3D on your screen? John will show you anaglyph 3D glasses right now. John, can you show this 3D glasses to everybody, please? You have the glasses with you, John? Yes. So you see that? This is an anaglyph 3D. So I'm going to show you an anaglyph 3D video. So how do I do it? So I'm going to share my screen. Are you seeing my screen, everybody? Yes? You seeing my screen? John, you're seeing my screen? So for this, you need a player called the VLC player. So I am going to start, I'm going to see a video. Let's go to this folder and this video. I'm going to open it. I'm going to right click it and open with VLC media player. Okay. Now I go to tools and then I go to effects and filters. In that, the video effects, and in the video effects, I go to advanced, and then I make it in the advanced, I click anaglyph 3D. And you see, those two pictures have become one right now. So I'm going to put on my anaglyph 3D glasses, just like John, and voila, what you're seeing is suddenly 3D. And it's beautiful. Once you get the hang of it, it is just beautiful, because you'll very soon start seeing the depth of these videos. Because right now we have the Kinevo and the exoscope, which can record in 3D. We even have the Einstein Vision endoscope. And these endoscopes can show you 3D. Right now, I am removing this epidermoid from the callosum, and it's beautiful to see the 3D. And if anybody is seeing it with these glasses, I'm sure you can appreciate how I'm going ahead and removing this tumor. This tumor was attached to both the pericallosals. You can see one pericallosal at the depth there, and I'm keeping on removing the tumor. And it's beautiful. The way you are seeing this 3D is really flawless. I mean, if you get the hang of it, the way that you are seeing the depth here is just brilliant. John, can you appreciate it, John? You're muted, buddy. You're muted.
Yeah, it's clearer.
And
Better,
you can see
better resolution, right?
yes, you can see the 3D.
Yes, but it's better resolution, I believe.
Yeah, yes, absolutely. Now going on. And anybody, these glasses are available for less than $1, I believe.
Yes, I got a whole pack of them for $5, a whole like 20. More than I'll need in a lifetime.
Yeah, so the thing is, what I'm seeing is so clear on my computer. The 3D is just brilliant, just brilliant. So this VLC media player, they convert it to this anaglyph 3D, and the fact that you can see it on your computer is just brilliant. So today I just wanted to make sure that this part is taken care of. So the difference between what is an exoscope and what is an endoscope. Second concept is, how do you see a 3D video? And next session, I think we'll go ahead and talk about the exoscopes that are available in the market. What are their advantages? What are their disadvantages? And why do I think that the future is exoscopes? And let me just show you a video. So way back in 2016, we thought that exoscope is the future. So we fixed a webcam and an endoscope with the help of Alicante University. There was Eduardo and who helped us with this. So we are seeing how a robot can manipulate an endoscope and an exoscope. And we have made the same thing with an Indian company. We have made it much more advanced now, much better exoscope. And you can see that there is a point, and that point is being brought to the center. And you can see with head movements how it moves. All this can be done. These are all small things, but we had done it in 2016. This is the beginning of our tryst with the exoscope. And we have a whole lot of surgeries done with the exoscope. So I can show you a few surgeries with the exoscope, but today what I want to do is just show you how the 3D video works. And second thing is next session onwards, we'll talk about different exoscopes, advantages, disadvantages, and that's about it. So thank you very much. Anybody has a question or anything, we'll be happy to answer it.
Yeah, I have a couple of questions. Unfortunately, I couldn't really watch attentively. I was attending to running the webcast. Well, yeah, market difference. I don't see how, how can you argue with that, really? For someone that's getting a better view. Is the main, what are the, okay, why don't you go over the main arguments against it? Why the older neurosurgeons really don't feel it's necessary or needed? What are the main arguments?
Yeah, so the first thing that the people used to argue about was that it needs a learning curve. So, but that is not a valid argument, I feel, because see, I have operated with 20 years for the microscope, and it took me about 1 month to shift to the exoscope. And now today I have the world's best, so-called world's best microscope sitting in my theater, unused. The Kinevo is unused now. So I have been using the Esculap's AOS and the exoscope. It's a beginning level exoscope, and it is far better than the microscope after I got used to it. So the argument that it needs a learning curve is not valid. Okay. Now the second argument is colors. So the richness of colors, you don't have it with the exoscope. It's completely untrue, because the exoscope has 5 modes of colors, and depending on what coloring mode you want, you can get it. So it's not like just one mode in a microscope. You got so many, because these colors can be digitally enhanced. The vessels can be digitally enhanced. So a tumor can be digitally enhanced. So colors, the richness of colors is not there, is again because you don't know too much about the exoscope. Okay. Now, I don't see any other argument from the older generation except that, anybody finds it difficult to change when something new comes. They find it difficult to change. So that's the main thing that's going on, is what I feel. So I don't think that should hamper the young neurosurgeon stepping into the future with the exoscope. So I would ask all of you to understand. I mean, I know the exoscope is a very, very costly proposition right now. We're trying our level best to work with Indian and Chinese companies so that we can bring the cost down to very, very, very affordable. I see that Manuel and others are doing some very low-cost exoscopes. And see, frankly, I wouldn't really ask the young neurosurgeons to go that way. That is a cheap alternative, but I would say that that's like,
is that 3D? Is that 3D?
It's not 3D. It's not 3D.
So minimum, you've got to have 3D.
Yeah, so you need to be able to compete with the basic microscope. If you're not 3D, you're not competing with the basic microscope.
That's 2D. That's
So
2D, right?
that's 2D, and 2D is maybe not a great idea. Maybe if you have completely resource limited and you want an exoscope, you want some magnification at $150, yes, maybe you can go for it. But I wouldn't be very happy saying that that's so when Manuel says it's not a microscope killer, I really wanted to tell him that yes, it's not a microscope killer because it's 2D. So we need to get two cameras together, maybe two cheap cameras together, find an algorithm to make it into 3D or something like that. But now the HD 3D microscope exoscope is available for $35,000, $40,000. So
Okay.
um, with a robotic arm, so it is not a bad proposition to have a medical grade 3D camera. So the young neurosurgeons should be pursuing that line rather than going for an industrial camera, which is not going to be great. I mean, I completely appreciate Manuel's work, but that's not the line we should pursue to pursue perfection.
Okay. Well, it seems to me like everything in neurosurgery needs a learning curve. Everything. Do most university settings that are well stocked, do they normally have exoscopes, 3D exos? Do they normally have them, or they have to make a special effort to buy them? A university well stocked, would they have an exoscope?
Our university?
No, any, like say an American university, like University of Miami, they would have an exoscope.
Yeah, many of these Europeans and Americans have many exoscopes right now. So many of the spine surgeons.
Yeah, what do they use the exoscope?
Yeah, they're using it. They're using it. So Vladimir is using the Olympus Orbi. Some of them, Henry is using the White Home, which is not really a very good exoscope, I would say, because there is no robotic carrier there. So I would say right now the exoscopes, good exoscopes in the market would be the EOS, Orbi, and the Modus 10 from Synaptive. Well, White Home, I wouldn't count it as an exoscope, but then the Sanma one, the Indian one, which is shaping up to be a fantastic competitor. And then there is one Chinese one, I think it's called the ES1. So I don't know much about it, but once I see it, then I'll know. So these are the 5 exoscopes that I know, in the one each from India and China, and then you have the Esculap EOS, Olympus Orbi, and then you have the Modus 10 from Synaptive.
So you're working with those companies, the Indian company and the Chinese company?
Yes, so I am right now, I just went to see this Indian company, and their exoscope seems fantastic. They have both the models. They have the 3D 4K, which is a bit costly, and they have the HD exoscope, which is fantastic, which is anyway better than any microscope. So the Chinese one, I'm supposed to see that in October. They're supposed to finish that by October, and then I'm supposed to go and see it, and then I would be clear on what they are doing. They seem like a fantastic, very well-equipped company too.
Okay. Now, what exoscopes do you have there at your hospital? You said you had a bunch of them, right? You said you have a lot of different types of exoscopes.
Yeah, I have the Kinevo, which was touted as an exoscope. I have the Kinevo, which is originally a microscope. It has the eyepieces, so it's not a pure exoscope. Now I have the EOS, which is a pure exoscope. Now I also will be having, in a couple of days, I'll also be having the Sanma exoscope with me on a trial basis. So very soon I'll be able to put surgeries up from all 3 of these exoscopes, and then we can kind of compare as to what is good and what is bad on a very neutral basis.
Now, you said before that your residents kind of really like to use it, and
Yes.
they ask you to use it.
Yeah. So my fellows and my consultants are, even the spine guys are so much enamored by the exoscope that they're slowly wanting to leave the microscope. I mean, and imagine we have one of the best, in fact, the best microscopes in the world. So the Kinebo. So the field in a Kinebo is the stereo depth is limited compared to an exoscope. So while the exoscope shows you a beautiful and wide field, when you go to a very small cone, the microscope really is not working very well. So especially places like CP angle, or you're going through the endoport, watching through the endoport and things, the microscope doesn't give you the magnification nor the stereo depth. So this is something that the exoscope really scores in. And plus, all your controls are on the foot pedal. So it's pivoting, it's moving X, Y everywhere. And your hands are completely in the field while the exoscope is just moving around. So that's a big advantage it has. And the microscope cannot do that, because if you do that, you'll have to move your eyes, and your assistant is going to hit your assistant without, unless you tell him that you're moving. And in an exoscope, you really don't need to bother, because your assistant is looking at the screen. He's not on the eyepiece.
You mentioned a few advantages. Can you give us an exhaustive list of what you feel the advantages are of an exoscope versus the microscope?
Yeah. So as I said, first one would be at present, the magnification of an exoscope right now for the AOs is almost 85 plus. I mean, easily. So that kind of magnification is, except the Mitaka, which comes close, no other microscope has anywhere near that magnification. So the magnification in a size native magnification will be around 25. So you can imagine the difference. Then the stereo depth is brilliant in an exoscope. Then the ergonomics is fantastic for the surgeon. Plus the fact that you are, your entire controls are on the footrest. It's really great. So maybe these are the 4 advantages I would list right now. Now, in the future, this exoscope image, that being a completely digital image, can be married to a lot of other images like the navigation, the intraoperative CT, and so on and so forth, and which you can never do with a analog image or a microscope image, where image injection is just a 2D overlay of things, and which doesn't look very good. So here, the exoscope field you can inject. That's what's called mixed reality. It's big right now. So you can inject something into the exoscope field and see on a VR overlay, where is the carotid, where is the tumor, is there some tumor left, or where are the other nerves going to come, all that you can see. That's going to happen very soon. It's not happened, but that's going to happen very soon.
Yeah, I was going to ask you that. With the inevitable development of augmented reality, virtual reality, is there advantage of an exoscope of incorporating those type of technology into the operating room?
Yes.
With
This
the
is the beginning. This is the beginning of a paradigm shift. So if you look at it, the way that things are moving forward with the exoscope, the microscope will be far left behind soon. So AI, MR, deep learning, all this. So I'm telling you, within 5 years to 10 years, there will be an exoscope which will tell you this is the carotid. You shouldn't be going there.
I'm sorry, what'd you say? I missed that last part.
No, there would be an exoscope which will be telling the surgeon that this is the carotid, or this is the tumor. And imagine, so you just incorporate neurosurgical anatomy and AI to these exoscope systems, and soon they'll be, with pattern recognition, they'll be able to recognize that this is a carotid, and this is where the tumor is. You've not removed this part of the tumor. This is still tumor. And there is cranial nerve 3 here. There is cranial nerve 5 here. This is what the exoscope will tell you.
Wow. So it'd be like a diagram with labels on the anatomy.
Yes,
Is there
yes.
anything like that now at all? Not yet.
Not
Yeah.
yet, not yet. But we plan to do this. We plan to integrate AI and mixed reality into the exoscope field. So very soon we'll be having this.
It sounds exciting. Of having a labeled anatomy label. Did you ever think you'd see a day as a neurosurgeon where you'd have anatomy labeled?
Yeah, so you see, this is going to make things so different because this is going to bring a little bit of uniformity into the neurosurgical field, because most of the surgeons, their problem right now is not the skill. It's not really the skill. It's the knowledge.
Yeah.
So most of the surgeons are not in the anatomy lab, and you know, it's if when your knowledge is less, then you see less, and then your skill becomes less. So that's the thing. So very soon I would see. I mean, I am thinking hypervision will come. So we introduced this term hypervision, and this is what it is. So the exoscope will be labeling and saying that this is the carotid. So it will show a segmentation of the carotid, and it will show where is the carotid. So the young neurosurgeon's learning curve will be literally nothing.
What is hypervision again? What is that? Is that a new term?
Yeah, hypervision is in addition to the normal vision, what you can superimpose the scan and then say that the carotid is here, the tumor is here. So that's a superimposition of the scan, just like a pilot is landing a plane in the night. So when you are landing, you see with your radar, you're seeing a vision, you're seeing on your HUD a virtual image of the runway. So it may be pitch dark. It may be, you know, a fighter pilot can still land in a place because they are superimposing the Google Maps or the satellite maps. They're superimposing it on the coordinates. So he knows that even if it's pitch dark, what is exactly the terrain, he knows. So this is fighter pilot technology. So this is what I call hypervision. Plus, if somebody tells you this is this particular area, this is this particular area, because you have a satellite map, and on the satellite map you have Google, which labels the places. So that technology already we have it in navigation. So the same thing. So, you know, today I was actually reversing my car out of a tight space, and you know, after all this time, I got a car with this 3D imaging, you know, this the 3D camera. So it's amazing. It's outright amazing. So when you're reversing the car out of a tight space or something, I used to think I was a good driver, but you can go really close to the other vehicle and you get a warning, but then you see where exactly the other vehicle's margins are, and then you can take your car out. And who would have thought it's possible? When you're off-roading, imagine seeing your tire and where exactly is your tire going. Earlier, you need to have a navigator to tell you, go this, go this way. Now, you can see your tire, you can see the path in front, you can even see a virtual line of where you should go and where you shouldn't. So this kind of technology coming into neurosurgery is truly amazing. It's going to come very soon, or we're going to get it here.
Okay, today you mentioned Sufianov does exoscopes a lot. Are there anyone else, any other well-known surgeon that uses the exoscope and it's a big back?
Vladimir Benes. Well, Vladimir Benes uses it. Yeah, he uses the Olympus Orbi.
Yeah, it'd be nice if we could get them on a webcast.
Albert Sufianov uses the Esculap EOS, and very soon both of us will be having exposure to the Sanma exoscope and then the Indian one. So we are having in December, we are having a meeting, exoscope only meeting in Tyumen in Russia. So we're going to,
Oh,
Yeah,
good.
we're going to be operating and we're going to have a 3D cadaver lab with just with the exoscope. So both EOS, the Escolab one, as well as the Sanma exoscope will be there.
Does his residents feel the same as your residents as far as wanting to use it? And
Beg your
ask you
pardon?
to use, do his neurosurgery residents, Dr. Sufianov, do they ask him to use the exoscope?
No, I don't know about this, but I can ask Sufiano. I invite him so that to our next session is going to be technical again, because today was just an introduction, and
Okay.
our next session is going to be technical. And at that time, I think we should invite Sufiano also. I hope I have sent his contact to you, the WhatsApp contact.
Yeah,
to you.
I've got it. I've got it.
Yeah, so we will invite him as a panelist, and then maybe he can talk, and then we can, have him also on the panel so that he can show his work with the exoscope.
Oh, okay. The panelists, I don't know if you guys want to ask any questions or say anything, Dr. Sanin or Alvarado Nunez. You don't have to.
Alvarado Nunes had asked me a question, so I had given him my WhatsApp number. So,
Oh, okay. You want to say anything, Alvarado? You don't have to. If you want to, you can share. Yeah, that's a complete. Now, describe what it was like when the microscope was, and you were around then, when the microscope was introduced to the neurosurgical OR. That must have certainly created some havoc to
yes,
neurosurgeons that never even used a microscope.
Yeah, so when I was with Yasagil and Yuha in Istanbul, Yuha, well, bless his soul. So Yuha was telling about my interest in exoscopes to Yasagil, and Yasagil said, when in 1980 or something, when they had a meeting, and there were only 4 people for the microneurosurgical session, and there were many famous neurosurgeons who would say that I can clearly see with my eyes, and why do I need a microscope? So
right. And now
so
everyone uses it, of course.
Yeah, so now today there is no microneurosurgery without a microscope.
Oh, okay. So you see a similar phenomenon occurring with the exoscope.
But it'll be much faster because the exoscope, people are already used to the microscope. So when now you don't need to say that something that will magnify and something that is a better ergonomics will rule the market. You don't have to push it into people's head. People already kind of know that. It's just that the learning curve is a bit more for the older people, so they don't want to shift. But the younger guys, well, very soon, in 5-10 years, the younger guys will be into the exoscopes for sure.
The ergonomic factor is big as far as, because you've operated under both conditions.
It's very big. It's very big.
Physically, you feel different doing the same operation.
Yes, I am sitting down so comfortably with a hand rest, and instead of doing this, and this, I'm not struggling. So my assistant is not struggling, and the magnifications that I get are fantastic, and the angles that I get just sitting down in a place, just moving my leg is fantastic. So this is what is the difference.
The hand-eye coordination, you said, took you a month.
Yeah, so the learning curve is about a month, I would say. Since I've been operating completely on a microscope, I'm so used to its controls. So with my foot pedal or with my hands, I was using the mouse switch before. So today I don't need to use any mouse switch. It dances in front of me.
That's good. Okay. Very good. Okay, I went over in 2 weeks. We have another session.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll just follow the progression, take it slow, build the community. It won't happen fast. As you know, things happen slow.
Yeah, 1 year, John. That's what I think. 1 year.
You think 1 year will take a good hold?
Yes, that's what I'm thinking.
Okay, we'll try to do our part in the education area.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay, very good.
yeah. Thank you, John.
Thanks a lot. Okay, we'll see you later. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, John.
Okay. Yeah, let's try to get Sufino for the next one.